Hey everybody, and this is the Season 3 premiere of the show with no name. I made a video about Total Drama, so some of you might be wondering how I feel about Total Drama Pahkitew Island. I don't think I'm breaking your heart when I say that this season is not great. This is really a mixed bag for me. There are some parts of it that really work, and some parts of the season that really don't work. It's hard to believe that after Season 5, the exact same people made this. I don't really know where to start, but I guess I'll just pick a spot and begin. Oh, and by the way, major spoiler warning. All of this season's problems can boil down to one thing: the characters. The original idea of Total Drama was to put normal teenagers into abnormal situations. Over the years, this idea has somehow metastasized into putting characters that aren't normal in any way into abnormal situations. The list of characters includes Sean, who is constantly preparing for a zombie apocalypse, Max, who's pretty much a young Dr. Evil, and Beardo, who mainly just sits around and does sound effects. There are also plenty of stereotypes on display. Total Drama has never been innocent of using personality stereotypes, but not to this degree. If Scott and Cameron brushed up with the white trash black nerd stereotypes, Sugar and Leonard took those stereotypes and went crazy with them. I can't really complain too much about Sugar, though, because as much as I hate to admit it, she is really funny.
Most people have to choose between beauty, grace, and brains. But I got both!
This be the end of Sugar's short life?
I can rag on Leonard, though. On concept alone, Leonard is the worst character in all of the show. What were the writers even thinking? Leonard's entire thing is that he thinks he's a wizard in the vein of Harry Potter. He doesn't just really love wizard fiction, he's not just obsessed with wizard fiction, he is actually literally believing, at the age of 16, that he is a wizard. This guy would be kicked out of any self-respecting group of LARPers for being too much of a dork salad. I don't even get it. He was made to go home early, but he was annoying every single step of the way. While we're on the subject of all-time lows, let's also discuss Amy. Amy is by far the single least likable character in Total Drama history. This girl makes Regina George look like a saint. It's like if they took Heather and replaced all the funny, intelligent, or redeemable parts of her with more witchiness. She is one note and one note only. I think that throughout her entire time on the show, she does not have a single line that is not her crapping on her twin sister, Sammy. I refuse to call her Sammy because if I do, Amy wins. Every single scene with Amy is infuriating, and nothing about this character ever changes. I understand that the audience is supposed to dislike Amy and feel sorry for Sammy. They did their job well, but I think that the writers forgot that character arcs need to have a setup and then a payoff. Usually the plot thread is included with some kind of revelation or climax. Is there a payoff to the Amy-Sammy subplot? At the end of the third episode, Sammy uses a poisonous fruit to switch places with Amy and have Amy get eliminated in her place. This might be construed as Amy getting her comeuppance, but is it really? Even with Sammy supposedly eliminated, the rest of the team continues to hate on her, and then after 2 episodes, Amy returns. And then they both just get eliminated. This just isn't good writing. I could nitpick every single character one at a time, but I do have a point to make later, so let's just discuss one more. One of the most annoying characters is Ella. Let's just start out with this character design. Well, this cast already has Mulan and one of the ugly stepsisters, so why not include Snow White too? These characters are not wearing outfits, they are wearing costumes. Anyway, her thing is that she likes to sing a lot. I also get flashbacks to a previous character when I think about Ella. Let's see if you can make this connection too. She is a pale, wispy girl who has a way with animals and is really weird. Does that sound familiar to anybody? Well, let me just say, no. No, 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 hell no, 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 no. I think I speak for all Dawn fans when I say that they missed the mark completely. Even if emulating Dawn wasn't the intention of this character, I'm gonna make this comparison anyway so I can just rag on her. First off, as weird as Dawn was, I still got the impression that she was, you know, a human. Ella is pretty much Giselle from Enchanted right as she enters the real world. I don't think you need me to tell you that the result is irritating to say the least. This is not a normal teenager. Second, Dawn was not a complete doormat. She spoke her mind, was self-reliant, and didn't take any crap from anybody. This is in sharp contrast to Ella, who has the spine of a jellyfish. She keeps trying to make friends with Sugar, but Sugar is mean and vindictive in return. I was actually expecting Ella to snap at one point and turn psycho crazy. Kinda like Snow White from Shrek the Third, but no, that would be too awesome, so of course that never happens. I don't like how the only way to make the audience sympathize with her is to have the rest of the characters treat her like dirt. But the worst thing is that Ella made it further in the game than Dawn did. Dawn, the engaging character, was cut 4th. Ella, the alienating character, was cut 6th. The point that I'm making is that the cast of characters is a bad foundation to set this show on. It says an awful lot when the zombie conspiracy nut is one of the normal ones. Let's compare this cast to the other two. Izzy is more normal than half of the characters here. Mike is more normal than half of the characters here, and he literally had a psychological disorder. It would be one thing if the cast was just really weird, but they aren't very likable either. I can count on one hand the number of characters this season that I liked. Sean, Sammy, Jasmine, and Sky. Once again, one of the best parts of the earlier seasons was that some of these characters were like people that one would meet in high school. That is not the case here. People like Leonard do not exist. People like Ella do not exist. People like Max do not exist. People like Sugar should not exist. I would give the show credit for eliminating the worst characters early, but that just makes the show very lopsided in quality. These characters are why the first half of the season is such a drag. This is why this season had to be addressed. Arguably, the two main plot threads of this season are the romance between Sean and Jasmine, and the not quite sort of romance between the biggest girl on the entire island and Sky. The subplot with Sean and Jasmine is probably the best one, with the two decent characters that actually do have chemistry. This is not at all like the subplot with Sky and Dave. Dave goes completely gaga for Sky, but Sky wants to focus on the game. Or at least I think that's how she feels. Sometimes she's in love with him, sometimes she isn't. It's a mess. There's also this ridiculous misunderstanding.
That happens when I'm
nervous. I know. So, was that belch a yes or a no?
It was an I like you too burp, but...
Don't want to hear the but. Let's just see where things go.
How stupid is he? Does he really think that but could mean anything good? And then there's this thing where Ella falls for Dave, and then Sky is jealous, maybe, I guess, it's not clear. This whole thing is just kind of a mess, and it culminates in this exchange here.
I'm also sorry that I believed you when you said you liked me. Obviously you...
Hey, I said I liked you, but you didn't want to hear the but. But that's not my fault.
Please let me be your boyfriend.
I swear, I did not edit that. What the hell just happened? I am completely lost. This is the show that brought us the romance between Courtney and Duncan, Heather and Alejandro, Mike and Zoe, and then they just made this? I should be fair, so I should also talk about the good parts of this season. The show does pick up halfway through when the worst characters are eliminated. This season also has the best location. The new island is Pahkitew Island, which is a Cree word for exploding. As the season progresses, it becomes clear that there is something very wrong with this island. Landmarks seem to just appear and disappear, and many of the things that should be natural don't make sense. Eventually, it is revealed that the entire island is a machine, and things go south quick when the island starts malfunctioning. The self-destruct setting is put into motion, and the remaining contestants have to turn it off before the island explodes and kills all of them. Not just that, but there are killer robot animals and other surprises in the catacombs beneath the island. I can't tell if this is really awesome or really stupid. There's also a room entirely for storing robot Chris McClanes for doing promos at malls.
How do you think I did the promotion tours for the show? You think I went to all those malls myself?
Kind of violent for promo bots.
They gotta defend themselves. Do you have any idea what the average Total Drama fan is like?
Point made. It also turns out that Scarlet is pretty much a serial killer.
This is the real me, the Scarlet that I've kept hidden until now. Biding my time, waiting to strike. I am evil!
How does a 16-year-old become this way? I would like to point out the fact that there is a distressing number of evil people in this cast. If this show is to be believed, 1 out of 7 Canadian teenagers is a terrorist in the making. I'm not sure that that's true. I have very mixed feelings about this season. The main feeling of this one is just of disconnect. There are parts of this, like the last 5 seasons, but something's missing, something's broken. It almost feels like this was a spin-off or a fan fiction or something. It's kind of one of those things that you sort of have to see to believe. But despite all of my complaints, I don't think that this season is terrible. There is enough of the original shining through, but not enough to really make it good. Total Drama Pahkitew Island is about as uneven, crazy, and random as Pahkitew Island itself. It obviously had effort put into it, but the result is pretty flawed. And with that, I begin my 3rd season of the show with no name. See you next time.